think it was the dog.
No, it's not the dog.
No, that was the dog. The microphone's just
picking
really
up
sensitive.
The background noise.
Yeah, they're just really good microphones, actually. We're recording now.
Nice.
It's really weird seeing all the lights.
I know. It's
distracting.
Look
now.
at the blinking one in the middle. The blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. The green, red.
Yeah.
What does red mean? Oh, everything's. Oh. What
It's not professional equipment. It's hobbyist equipment. Very expensive. How much do you think it was? I'm
kind of nervous to know.
It wasn't that much. No, okay, it was more. That one was more than that.
Like 140 all in.
No, I spent 150 on that one right there, and the red one was 160. Do you want to know what they were retail? Do you want to know what they are retail?
You spent $310.
Yeah, I don't care. They pay me well. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? It's not that much. Who cares?
That's so funny.
That's literally like a day of working. Who cares?
That's true. It's a day of work.
It's like a day of work.
That's
who cares?
true.
Like, who gives a fuck? I already got enough money saved.
No, this isn't one of those podcasts.
So this one retail is about 200. I'm pointing at our mixer. It's a Mackie Mix 12. That one's like $240 retail.
Wow. So we basically made $90.
Well, basically my thought was like, oh, if this like doesn't work out, I can just resell it and get like 90% of my cost back, you know?
Sure.
Like 90% easily.
Sure.
The dog is sniffing it right now.
Yeah, this one we might have to put him outside. He was looking at the lights.
And the same with the red one. The red one's about $220 now.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. But I got good deals. And I figured if it doesn't work out, we just resell it.
Yeah. I mean, that'll probably hold its value better than
half the stocks we buy.
So it's not a terrible idea.
Better than Tesla.
The half cow is actually probably the best performing asset that I have in the last 2 years.
True, yeah.
Because the beef prices have gone up so much.
True, you could sell that for profit now.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah.
That's really sharp.
Not really. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I guess we gotta introduce this.
Yeah, I don't really know how we introduce it. I don't know. I think every week is gonna be different, so it's kind of hard to say what we're talking about.
That's fine. I'll just do like I don't know. You'll have to stitch this together in post prod, but
yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Ready? You sound good? Yeah.
Let's go. We sound legit.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, good.
How good is the sound quality? Is it really good? I spent $310. Keep in mind.
Every cent.
That's good.
That must have been crushing when she said $70.
No, it was fine.
Okay.
I have no
Yeah, but it's like one of those situations where like, oh, like how much money do you think this guy made? And they say 100 million. And you're like, well, no, like 5 million. No, it seems like nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's okay.
Yeah. It's one of those things that like they last a long time too. It's not like a phone where it's like, 3 years, you got to get a new one.
True.
These things last a long time, which is good.
Yeah, that is good.
That's the master volume.
I think that just.
So you want to keep it. You want to try and keep it somewhere so that when we're speaking, it's just like the second green light that lights up, and the orange one. We don't want the orange one to light up that much. Yeah, like that's good. Where you just said it was good.
How do you know? Yep. Like, how did you know that orange is? Like, how do you know? Or that's just.
I went on the YouTubes, and that's what the YouTube man told me.
And you said sounds good.
And I said, okay, I trust you with my life.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. So.
All right, let's start this off.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to The Green List, a new podcast / show we'll be starting where we're going to go into the details behind how some of the richest people in the world made their fortune.
Yeah. I think we're going to have lots of different people to talk about, some athletes, artists, businessmen and women, real estate tycoons, venture capitalists. I think there's lots of rich people that got rich in very different ways.
Yep, we're going to hit everyone from all walks of life, how they got into what they're doing, how they made their money, what they're doing now, and we think it'll be pretty interesting. Maybe we'll see some common themes, some differences, but
yeah,
it'll be
maybe
good.
Some criminals. Those got to be some interesting ones.
Yeah.
Sam Bankman-Fried, maybe?
Yeah, Bernie Madoff.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Bankman-Fried.
Interesting.
All right, I'll just have to... Oh.
You're fine. Just don't fucking twitch with it, man.
Well, I don't want to sit like bored the whole time.
Just put your hands in your lap like this.
No, people that read off their phone can't take them seriously. You
yeah,
take us seriously.
I did my presentation from my phone today.
Did you actually?
No.
Oh, okay. Did you have notes under your PowerPoint?
No, I just freeballed it.
Oh, good for you, man.
I had to do a presentation from my phone when you printed it at 0.7 font when I asked you to print it.
Yeah. But it got printed.
Did you have a printer?
No.
Then I don't think we should be complaining. All right, so who are we doing today?
I'm sorry, this is mentally ruined now.
No, you're fine.
Uh,
Who are we studying?
we're studying Mr. Bill Perkins, energy trading tycoon turned into high stakes poker player.
When I first heard of Bill Perkins, I had no idea he was a Wall Street trader. I just thought he
Yeah.
was like kind of a meh poker player, and I didn't really like him because of his antics at the table.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't like this guy. He kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
He was like the bald head or something. I don't know.
Maybe he's kind of polarizing. I think you either like him or you don't like him. He's definitely not like the traditional old school poker player like a Helmuth or a Brunson, but he's also not like a new school like super like optimization theory guy.
Yeah, and then I found out that he isn't even really like he's not a poker player. Like that's not.
No, just for fun.
Yeah. Then I was like, oh wait, this guy's awesome.
Yeah, but he plays like hundreds of thousands of dollars like buy-ins for fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, once I found out he wasn't doing the antics to like have an edge, and it was just because he's having fun.
Yeah,
I was
just-
like, oh, never mind. This guy's so cool.
Yeah, no, he just loves it. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to talk about Bill Perkins. He's worth about 110, 120 million dollars.
Oh, that's less than
Pretty
I thought.
good. Yeah.
Less than I thought it'd be, but that is still a lot.
Yeah, but a lot of I don't know. I think that might just be like his liquid net worth.
Yeah,
I think
he
a
also
lot of
spends
it's-
money like it's going out of style.
Yeah, like
So
as you know from his book. But
Yes.
yeah, he likes living his life, doesn't really believe in stashing money away forever, likes to spend it and enjoy it. He's a hedge fund manager. Energy trading is how he built up most of his money. We'll talk about that later. As we mentioned before, high stakes poker player. He's got just over 5.5 million in winnings, which is pretty respectable.
that
for
is respectable for an
doing it
amateur.
as- exactly.
Well, a hobbyist, I
Amateur.
guess. I wouldn't
Hobbyist.
call him an amateur.
No, he's a good card player, but it's still pretty impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
Anyway, so yeah, let's talk about how kind of he built his empire. Can you hear the dog?
I can hear the dog.
I can hear him, but he's right beside me.
Yeah, he's fucking loud and annoying. Pablo.
Paul, I'm gonna have to kick you out.
Sounds good though.
I got all this stuff from quitters. They were from quitters. People that quit.
That's funny. Not us though.
No, we're not quitters.
Okay, so he is from New Jersey. Grew up in pretty upper middle class. Nothing too crazy. His dad
Fake
was
New
a
York.
lawyer. Fake New York. Yeah, exactly. Dad was a lawyer. Mom was a teacher, and he went to Iowa for electrical engineering. He played football there actually.
Really? Was he
Which is
good?
kind of cool. He was alright. He was a walk on, and which is pretty impressive. And he played some downs.
What position do you play? Do we know?
Yeah, defensive back, I think.
Really?
Yeah, he's a DB.
Damn.
So pretty athletic.
Yeah. No Travis Hunter, I guess.
No Travis Hunter, but pretty solid dude all around. It seems.
That is pretty cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that he took like a more, I guess, traditional route. Like, wasn't someone who dropped out of college and like wasn't some super genius.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of rich people that dropped out.
Yeah, so I don't know. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, let's talk about how he kind of got into the industry, start to get into the more interesting stuff. He started off as being a trainee for a clerk on the New York Stock Exchange, like on one of the crazy trading floors back in, I think he started in the 90s, 80s,
Makes
90s.
sense.
Yeah, when
Yeah, that
everything
makes
was
sense.
pretty crazy, and he was making terrible money. I think he said he was making $20,000 a year. So,
Yeah, that's pretty shit.
like, I know obviously adjusted for inflation now, but still, he was making like pennies at the time. But he said he didn't care. He just needed a foot in the door, which is respectable.
Yeah, that is true. But $20,000 a year is pretty.
He said it was
And
pretty
he's living in
brutal.
New York at the time.
Yeah, he
That's
said he had like
pretty bad.
roommates sleeping on the floor, like that whole thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you remember from his book? I don't know if you're gonna get to this, but do you remember from his book where he was like, he just started working and then he managed to save up like $1,000,
yeah,
and then he told his manager that he made $1,000, and he's like, "You're a fucking idiot! Like, you're gonna be making millions one day. Like, why are you saving like $1,000? Like,
Yeah.
you're such a moron. Like,
and he's like, oh,
and then
okay.
he's completely deflated.
Yeah, which I don't know, which is an interesting mindset to have, but yeah, definitely, I think that probably like early on in his career, like being that exposure probably shaped where he got to today.
Yeah.
like that mindset maybe.
Mm-hmm. Wow, 20,000. It's crazy.
Yeah, so he's making like almost nothing.
But
But
do we know what he was trading then? Was he just equities and?
as a clerk?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't even trading as a clerk.
Oh, he was.
I think,
or his team was trading. He was just like processing
No.
trades and stuff.
yeah, like I think he would like look at the screen, and I think he might have even just like copied down the prices and given them to the traders. Like he was doing like nothing.
OG data collection.
Yeah, like the most like bare bones like data scraping
Oh my god.
work ever.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so he was not doing much. But anyway, he grinded that, like hacked that for a bit, and then he just kind of moved up the ranks that way. And then in 95, he moved to Houston, Texas to start his job as he was trading derivatives, and I think he had his own like eventually options desk as a trader for, and he was doing energy trading for a bunch of different companies. Natural gas was his big one.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah, super
Like futures?
volatile.
Is that what you're saying?
Futures.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
natural
cool.
gas futures. But it was crazy. Super volatile asset class. Not as much anymore, but back then.
Yeah, especially when you're trading in like denominations of like millions.
Yeah,
It goes up like a basis point, and suddenly you're
I
trading
know
you just lost $1 million.
Yeah, it's a massive swing.
Yeah.
Wow. And a lot of this stuff is private. Obviously, it's behind like funds and stuff. But from what I could gather, basically companies wanted to lock in like a profit. So the example I found from online was if gas cost them like $1.25 to produce, and like it was going for $2.50 at the moment, like they would lock in that price now. So I think like it's pretty similar like hedging.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they wanted to lock that in, and then this guy acted as like a middleman. So I think he would give them like the guaranteed price of $2.50, and then it was up to him to try and flip that on for like more money.
So he was basically taking the speculation side of the 250 trade
I think so.
and then trying to like basically win a spread by closing out his position once
Correct.
the market had moved.
Correct.
That's crazy.
So companies would lock in the guaranteed profit with him, and then he would, I guess he could take as much risk or as little risk, like in terms of quantity as he wanted,
right,
based off how he thought the futures would move.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. But again, pretty crazy, like pretty volatile stuff, like nothing really guaranteed.
Yeah.
And like as the asset class is just so dependent on like supply, like wars,
Yeah.
like the conflict.
How do you think you get into trading? Like,
futures?
no,
Oh.
well, yeah, like not that, but he's an engineer. Didn't you say he was an electrical engineer?
Yeah.
How do you get into like?
I think he said he was just drawn to like the hustle and bustle and like allure of Wall Street.
I guess, yeah.
I think he mentioned maybe in his book, or maybe I read it online, that like just the traditional engineering, he was just bored. He's like, I just don't want to do this for the
I
rest
guess that
of my
makes
life.
sense. I guess you spend 4 years in school, you're like studying engineering, and then you're like, this is not my thing.
Yeah, I think he couldn't picture himself just hacking that for the rest of his life.
Yeah, fair enough. Cool.
Just doing like projects.
I'd rather make 20 grand a year filling out trade slips.
Dude, some guys just love it though. He loved being on the floor, like right in the thick of it.
Yeah. Hey,
To him, it's worth it. Yeah, I mean, it worked
That's
out
cool.
well, but
Yeah, no kidding.
so that's what he would do. So he did that for a while. In 97, he founded Small Ventures Limited Partners, which was a venture capital fund investing in energy projects. I think their biggest one, they invested in a natural gas fueled power plant in El Salvador. So there you go, some emerging markets.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then in 2002, he he joined his buddy who was an old Enron trader, which I thought was kind of funny. Yeah, and they started a new hedge fund. Yeah, interesting.
Should we do an episode on Enron?
We should do an episode on
Oh
Enron.
my god.
Well, I don't know if
That's not making money. That's losing a lot of money.
I'm sure a
very
lot of
quickly.
people made a lot of money though. Like
Oh, on
skimmed off
Enron?
the top.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
It'd probably be hard though to put it. We could maybe.
We should do one on this guy.
John Arnold. That's his name. Anyway, so he joined him at his new hedge fund, and that's where he really made his mark. I have a couple stuff about his biggest trades, but he made $1 billion in profits for the firm.
John Arnold?
No,
Oh, Bill Perkins.
Perkins. Yeah,
But he
but
founded the firm.
no, he didn't. He went
Oh.
to work for his buddy. John
Oh.
Arnold founded the firm. Perkins worked for him as a trader, and he made $1 billion, which, like by consequence, made Arnold the youngest billionaire in the U.S. at the time, at age 33.
Thank you, Bill Perkins.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Wow.
But I mean, obviously, the guy starting the fund took on all the risk as well.
True.
But
That's true.
anyway,
Wow.
yeah, and then after that,
Do you have
he's-
details of this specific
I will.
trade?
I'll get into the big trades right
Okay,
after.
nice. Okay,
Yeah.
sweet.
But anyway, after that, he moved into high stakes poker and some film production stuff, which I think is when you start getting into like film production, like funding films, it's when you've made it.
So we've made it?
That's well known.
So we've made it, eh?
Just bootstrapping grassroots.
We're like Bill Perkins.
Yeah, basically.
So we've made it.
Traders, yes. Amateur poker players, high stakes, yes.
Yeah.
Film ventures, yes. But anyway, yeah, let's talk about some of the biggest trades because this is probably the coolest part.
Okay.
All right, so the first one, the $1 billion. Maybe I should save it till the end. Well, you can cut it up. We'll see. Anyway, the first trade, the $1 billion one. So I got to set the scene a bit. So in 2006, Amaranth Advisors was a hedge fund who had.
Sorry, what?
Is that how you say
Amaranth?
it? Yeah, Amaranth.
Okay.
What?
You know the streamer Amaranth?
No.
Oh, okay. There's a picture up now. Amaranth?
Okay.
All right.
I'll put that up.
Yeah, she's like a well-known streamer, no?
I can't say I know many
Okay.
streamers.
Okay. The name just caught me off guard. Okay.
Okay,
That's fine. Keep going.
that's good. What's going on over there?
Damn, I guess I'm chronically online, eh? Just me.
I don't know. I don't know. That's a well-known thing.
All right, that's fine.
Let us know in the comments. That's a well-known
She's like
thing.
she's like the influencer that made beer out of her yeast.
Can't say I know it.
Okay, she did that. She sold it. Like she would sell it on the internet.
No,
Okay, all right.
just you.
Okay, I guess it's just me. I didn't buy any, I swear.
That's good. Anyway, in 2006, Amaranth Advisors was a hedge fund with about $9 billion in assets under management, and they lost $6.5 billion on natural gas futures in a single week. Basically,
6.5.
in a week, billion out of their $9 billion in assets under management.
Who is their risk guy? Jesus Christ.
So I'll get to that a bit later, but it's kind of funny. Anyway, what their trade was they call it, so it was a calendar spread. So basically they had two future contracts at different expiration dates on the same underlying asset.
Mm-hmm.
So on the same like natural gas futures, obviously. So they were long on the winter ones and short on the summer ones. So like an example, like they longed Jan 2007 and they were short like the following summer. So like June 2007.
Okay, wait, quick question.
Yeah.
Is this the trade that Bill Perkins made $1 billion?
Yeah.
Wait, who's this Amaranth Advisors then?
I gotta set the scene.
Oh, okay, backstory.
Yeah, this is the backstory.
Sorry, I was distracted.
Okay.
Okay, I understand. I'm caught up.
Okay, good.
This is Amaranth has this position.
Yeah. So Amaranth is long winter, short summer.
Okay.
So they want the spread to get wider because they're like winter. They thought the winter ones were gonna go up in value, so they could sell those, and they were short the summer, so they could buy back the summer. So basically, like take profit by selling the winter ones they were long on, and then they would take profit by buying back the summer ones they were short on. Like they wanted the winter to keep going up and the summers to keep going down.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Basically, the bigger the spread, the more they make.
Yep.
So,
Understood.
anyway,
I understand. I'm with you. I know what
I don't know
a
what's
calendar
going
spread
on.
is.
No,
Okay, wait.
sorry.
Okay, wait. Are they long the shorter one in the winter, or is the winter like what's the next season? Is it summer or
Yeah.
winter?
Summer.
So they're shorting the one that's closer in time and
Yep.
longing the one further out.
Yeah.
Okay, understood. Okay.
I think I got that. Yeah, I said that wrong. They thought there was gonna be less supply in winter
Okay.
and more building into the summer.
Okay, that makes
I don't know. All the trades are private,
Right.
but
yeah.
this is like obviously like it
What
was
you're
such a
able to find.
disaster. They had to.
Hmm.
Like I don't know the specifics though, like strikes, like prices, like the exact. All
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know is
yeah.
like calendar spread, long winter, short summer.
Gotcha. Okay, got it.
Anyway, so they needed the spread to keep widening.
Yeah.
And basically Perkins got wind of this and thought these guys are way like over leveraged, and he took the other side of the trade, which is pretty crazy, betting against like a $9 billion hedge fund.
Yeah.
Like not that he like, well, he's kind of like a Joe Schmo, like just a trader at another firm, but to have like all that backing and everything to call your shot like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, what
Cool.
happened was, as you can probably imagine, the trade moved against like Amaranth, and it was so bad that there was like a massive supply increase in the winter. So eventually the spread like inversed.
Mm-hmm.
So they were just like losing money on both sides. They lost money because like their long went down and then the shorts went up. So yeah, they lost $6.5 billion in a week.
That's crazy.
And then Perkins cleared. Obviously, there were other guys like
taking the other
against them,
side.
but he had like I think probably the biggest chunk against them. But he cleared $1 billion in a week.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Billion in a week.
Probably had a pretty good bonus that year.
Yeah.
Maybe not though. I don't know. Maybe his buddy like is a scumbag from Enron.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder what your bonus. If you made $1 billion for the firm, what should your bonus be?
10%, 100 million.
You think 100 million?
I do.
Yeah, I was gonna say somewhere between 5 and 10%.
Yeah, but 10, like 100 million, just sounds right.
It does. But what happens if the trade like doesn't work out?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you fired? Are you gone?
Probably.
You think so?
Yeah.
So this guy's
Dude,
really-
apparently at this firm though, like the CFO was so worried about this trade, like when Perkins plays, he wanted him to quit.
Really?
Yeah, like they were so stressed, like the risk guys, and Perkins was like, "No, I'm fine," because apparently he was on like a 50% drawdown, and going into this, so they're like, "Dude, like you gotta stop." They made a shit ton.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
So that's-
How long was it between like you open the trade, open the position? Do you know how long it was before?
No, it doesn't.
too bad.
Yeah, it's all private, which is too bad.
That is too bad.
So I don't know how long.
Because if it was
out
like
there.
2 weeks later, it'd be like, oh shit. It probably wasn't
know.
2 weeks later, but
Yeah, maybe like a month or so. Again, I
Who
don't know,
knows?
but that's pretty crazy.
That
So a
is cool.
billion in a week, pretty good for him.
yep.
Basically liquidated one of the biggest, or if not the biggest, like natural gas hedge funds.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And
What
then
did Amaranth? Do we know what happened to them after?
they folded? Yeah,
They did.
They got liquidated. They got sued by their investors. It was a disaster. And then one of their guys, like going through deposition, one of their guys said they have 12 like risk management professionals, and they're like, "What do you mean you had 12?" Like obviously they didn't do anything. Yeah, because none of them modeled for whatever happened. Which I feel like it wouldn't be super hard to see this coming, or at least like say, "Hey, this is possible."
Yeah. You'd think.
Yeah. So anyway, they went bye-bye and they got sued
Wow.
by some of their investors. Very sad.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was his biggest one by far, which
Okay.
is pretty crazy.
Okay.
Next one, this one seems like not as much, but he made $1 million in a week.
Okay.
But this was for him, so this one's kind of cool.
Like a personal trade?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think he was trading for his fund, but I think this is when he had his own fund at this point.
Okay.
But anyway, this one's not as crazy. This is during the 08 financial crisis.
Okay.
When the banks were going down, and I think Bear Stearns or Lehman's maybe had just like gone down, so all the bank stocks were tanking. But Perkins thought that the government would step in and like bail some of them out, or else you would have like mass Armageddon.
Okay.
So he bought just a ton of Goldman Sachs options again, and then the government stepped in and bailed them out. He made $1 million, 125 in a week. Yeah, but the whole time this was going on, he was saying how it was like really bad that the government was stepping in to bail people out, and it was basically like communism. But he cleared $1 million on the options. But it was kind of funny because the whole time he's going like, "This is forced communism. This is not good."
Yeah, I mean, at least it seems like this is what happened, but it's not. It's really not what happened. It sounds like the government basically just like gave Bill Perkins money. That's not really what happened, but it seems that way.
No, yeah, it was just funny that like this massively helped his position, but he was saying like, "This is bad. The government shouldn't be doing this."
Yeah,
But he was like, "I know they're gonna do it, so I'll take this side anyway."
yeah.
But yeah,
At least he didn't take like the Lehman Brothers side.
no,
At
no.
least
I guess
maybe this was after Lehman Brothers.
that's what I mean. I think it was because all the stocks were like going down, but I mean, he thought, and correctly, that like, hang on a sec, like the government just can't let the banks fail.
Yeah,
Like I think they saved a bunch. They saved like Deutsche, JPM, Goldman Sachs. Maybe
Bear
some of
Stearns got saved.
Yeah, so yeah, pretty interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, trickle down communism. That's what he called it. But it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fair, I guess. That's funny. That's a funny way of putting it.
Yeah, trickle down communism.
I like it.
Anyway, yeah. So, and then he did start his own fund too at some point. I think in 2012ish, sometime after that. But he started his own fund, and he returned 100% in 2021 and 208% in 2022, betting off natural gas futures, but because of like the conflict in Ukraine. So we thought that it was going to be worse than people thought and expected the supply crunch. So he just made a ton of money again on futures.
Cool. So this guy's like fucking Kreskin for gas.
I guess that's what I was thinking when I was going through this. Like, I don't know if it's kind of interesting. Like, he didn't have any crazy proprietary algorithms or like, well, I don't think any like insider information. It's just kind of a couple like big conviction bets.
Yeah,
Like shoving the balls.
Maybe his like engineering or his electrical engineering degree kind of helped him in a way.
Maybe.
Well, it probably did. where it's like, you know, you study, like he was studying power when he was in school, like
Yeah.
obviously.
Yes, yeah.
So like maybe that helped him
Probably.
in some way. I don't know. I know nothing about electrical engineering, but
No, me neither. I just thought it was interesting in the sense that like nothing crazy, nothing like outside of the realm of like the ordinary, just a couple like really high conviction, high risk plays that he believed in that paid off.
yeah. Wow. Cool.
Yeah. And that's pretty much him, which is pretty cool.
That is
Anyway,
really
now,
cool.
yeah, as we mentioned, now he still manages his fund. I think he does pretty well. I haven't heard anything bad, so I assume that's good news. No news is good news.
Yeah.
He wrote the book Die with Zero, where he's advocating for spending your wealth and money on experiences.
Yeah. I really liked that book.
Yeah, I still have it. I'll give it to you. Give it
Yeah.
back to
I
you.
need it back.
But
I got other people I need to lend it to.
it is interesting.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it's a cool philosophy, but I think it's also an easier book to write.
It is
That
easier
he's
book to
worth
write.
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, man, just take a lot of risks. Like, it'll pay off.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
paid off for me, so all's good.
Yeah.
But no, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, he still invests, manages his fund. He plays poker, and he's pretty active in some philanthropy, some charity work, educating others on their wealth. But yeah,
cool.
He lives a pretty good life.
He's got a couple good highlights in poker world as well.
Yeah,
Couple funny ones.
He's pretty successful. Almost like 6 million in. I think he plays a bit online, but the vast majority of that is live earnings.
I wonder what his like
He used to
entry
play
fees that he's paid is though.
probably a lot.
I feel like in his book he says like he's about around even. Yeah, I like Bill Perkins. He's a cool guy.
He's a cool guy. That's what I mean. Like not super crazy, not like super genius, like not really weird, not like didn't cheat his way to the top. Just
No.
pretty good, like solid dude who made a couple of really big bets that paid off.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool.